Well, guys, I never thought this day would come, but I'm graduating.
What? Hold on. No, Nate, you're not graduating.
What are you talking about? I'm graduating at the end of...
Anyway, this week's gonna be full of fun and not tears. Right, Nate?
Well, I mean, of course, but I am
No. Not today, my friend.
I'm not graduating today, silly. I'm graduating in December.
Oh, you think I'm silly, Nate? You're the silly one.
No, you know what? Parker's the silly one.
Yeah, you're right about that, actually. Parker is really silly.
Hello, and welcome back to The Real Deal, Ball State's premier entertainment news show. I'm your host, Nate Richard.
And I'm Marcos Carranza. You know what, Nate? I really think that you should just not graduate.
Aw, are you gonna miss me that much?
Well, I mean, of course, but, remember that Animal Crossing village that I made for you?
Of course! It was only one of the best gifts I ever received.
Oh, that's great, because, I kind of want custody of half of it.
If you want custody of half of our village, then I want custody of half of the crowns you made us.
The crowns? But I'm a princess. A princess is nothing without a crown.
Yeah, and I'm a princess too, so I deserve a crown.
You can't be a princess, you're a superhero. Remember Super Nate?
Okay then, you can't be Ariel because you're Ultra Marcos.
Foiled at my own plan. Okay, well then I want half of Netflix.
Whoa there, buddy. I'm gonna need to speak to my lawyers. Katy, what do you have for us this week?
Thanks, boys. I just wanted to say before I got into my review that it's been a pleasure working with you, Nate, and I'm excited to see where you go. Now, before things get too emotional, let's start with the review. As always, I'm a little late to the game, but I did finally watch The Haunting of Bly Manor. And when I say that this is my favorite horror show that I've ever watched, I am not exaggerating. The Haunting of Bly Manor is a Netflix original horror series about, say, a governess trying to deal with the spooky things that are going on in this new manor that she's working at, as well as avoiding her past, so to say. The story starts off with just a ghost tale told from an elderly woman at a wedding that she goes to for 9 episodes to say that this isn't a ghost story, it's actually a love story. I'm not going to get into the specifics of the plot because I would recommend watching it on your own, but just know that this show has its ups and its downs. It makes you laugh, it makes you cry. It's a type of show that you don't want to stop watching. I personally watched the entire season in one night just because I couldn't stop watching it and I needed to know what happened next. Not only that, it's a great show with a tremendous amount of representation. The main character is a lesbian, is actually in a happy and healthy relationship, which isn't the case in most horror movies or shows. So, if you're looking for something new to watch and you want a bit of spooky, I would definitely recommend The Haunting of Bly Manor. It's on Netflix and the episodes are only an hour long, so you better get started. That's all I have for you today, so back to you, boys.
Thank you, Katy. So, what did your lawyers have to say, Nate?
Oh, Jamie said that since we did come up with the idea together, it could be half yours, and Anastasia said that since it is my name, it belongs to me.
Okay, what did Parker say?
Parker told me that he's not a lawyer, so I'm stumped.
Aha, we did swap bodies at one time, so technically, it does kind of belong to me.
Not gonna lie, best birthday ever.
I know, right? And you thought I didn't get you anything.
You didn't.
That's not true. I gave you unforgettable memories, Nate.
Aw, Marcos.
And I was the one who said no tears this episode. You know what? Why don't you just take everything, Nate?
No, I want you to have it.
No, I insist. It really does hurt so much to take from you.
You don't have to take... I'll give it to you.
I think we should settle this during Anastasia's segment. Anastasia?
This December, Harry Styles is gracing the cover of Vogue, making him the first man to appear solo since the conception of the magazine. This wouldn't be a controversy if not for the fact that Style dons a full-length ball gown. This garnered mixed views from a lot of different people on all sides of the argument. Following the announcement, conservative political commentator Candace Owens took to Twitter saying, "There is no society that can survive without strong men. The East knows this. In the West, the steady feminization of our men at the same time that Marxism is being taught to our children is not a coincidence. It is an outright attack," and asked to bring back manly men. Another conservative political commentator, Ben Shapiro, defended Owens, chiming in that the cover was a referendum on masculinity and it was an attempt to feminize masculinity. This resulted in many Harry Styles fans and celebrities such as Jamila Jamil, Elijah Wood, and Olivia Wilde were a few to fire back. Jamil brought up the fact that historically wigs, makeups, tights, and frills were once considered masculine. Wood stated that masculinity alone does not make a man. However, the LGBTQ+ community has praised and criticisms regarding Styles and Vogue. While Harry Styles is being praised for his gendered fluidity despite being a cisgendered man, and yet in 2016, Jaden Smith, a non-binary person, wore skirts and dresses for Vogue Korea and was labeled weird. Alok Vaid Menon, a non-binary author and speaker, while excited for someone to exercise their right to wear whatever they want and to encourage others to do the same, pointed out that trans feminine people of color have started trends like this, and while their aesthetics are accepted into the mainstream, their bodies aren't. They went on to say, "We are still dismissed as too much and too queer because we aren't palatable enough to whiteness and heteronormativity." Harry Styles nor Vogue have made any comment about the controversy, however. However, Styles states in the article that clothes are there to have fun with and experiment with and play with. When you take away, there's clothes for men and there's clothes for women. Once you move any barriers, obviously you open up the arena in which you can play. It's like anything, anytime you're putting up barriers in your own life, you're just limiting yourself. There's so much joy to be had in playing with clothes. Whether you agree or not, you can catch the article and pictures at Vogue.com right now, and the physical Vogue December issue is out wherever magazines are sold. That's it for me. I'm Anastasia Scott.
Thank you, Anastasia. Now, as I was saying, you were right. You do own half of Netflix, and I couldn't bear to take that away from you.
Wait, I have a great idea, Nate. Why don't we just share it?
You think?
Yeah, we can share the village in Animal Crossing, share the profits of Netflix, share the title Princess Ariel. I mean, we've already shared bodies.
And we are each other's sidekicks. What's a hero without a sidekick?
Exactly. So what am I supposed to do without my sidekick after you're gone?
We can still see each other. This isn't goodbye forever. There's still text and good old-fashioned call. And we can still Zoom.
Nate, I love you, but after this semester, I never want to look at a Zoom again. But I would look at it for you.
Aw, shucks. You know what, Marcos? I love you more than I love Spielberg.
Whoa, buddy, it's okay. We don't have to go that far.
No, it's true. That's how much you mean to me.
Well, you mean so much to me that while you're gone, not only will breakfast be an all-day experience in our empire, but I will also require members to watch at least one Spielberg movie in your honor.
And they won't be able to have a Parker Plus Prime Premium subscription. Only Netflix.
Only Netflix. Now we're cooking with gas.
We're what?
Cooking with gas? You never heard that expression before, buddy? Is everything okay at home, Nate?
I think it's time for Parker's segment. Yeah, that's Parker. He's just so great at segments. Parker?
Last week, people's wallets got a lot thinner. The next generation of consoles is here with the release of Microsoft's Xbox Series X and Series S on Tuesday and Sony's PlayStation 5 on Thursday. This is pretty big stuff considering the last generation of consoles lasted 7 years and contained some of the most critically acclaimed video games of all time. Let's unpack everything that's going on with these new toys, though with a disclaimer that I haven't been able to literally unpack anything, considering I can neither afford nor find either of the consoles out in the wild. First things first, tech. Both consoles have near identical specs, which is big improvements over the past consoles. But who cares about that? The bread and butter of the Series X and PS5 is solid-state hard drives. If you don't know, SSD hard drives are magic. They load faster than the human brain can comprehend. Okay, not that fast, but still really fast. People have reported on the Series X that load times have dropped in games like Control from 58 seconds down to just 10. A multitude of other games have been tested, with each one having around the same load times, dropping down by almost half. This is pretty much the same on the PS5 as well, but slightly slower. And I mean maybe 1 or 2 seconds, so no big deal. Although the Series X has a leg up on Sony with the inclusion of the Quick Resume feature, allowing users to have up to 5 games simultaneously running with the option to switch between them in only a couple seconds. Keep in mind, this is all day one, so just imagine what developers can accomplish after diving deep into the system and finding out all the nuances on this new architecture. While amazing, this means absolutely nothing. From what we've seen, even though these consoles are top of the line, it's still lackluster without anything to play. The PS5 launched with Miles Morales, Demon's Souls, Bug Snacks, of course, and a couple other third-party games. They're all either remakes or available on the last-gen consoles, or they could be Game of the Year winners like Bug Snacks. None of these are unit-pushing must-buys, and this is even worse on the Series X. There's nothing that competes, since it's almost entirely older games you can play on the Xbox One. And that's a big problem. Since these consoles are near identical, the defining factor for which sells more units is first-party exclusive games. We know Sony has that in the bag with developers like Naughty Dog, Santa Monica Studios, Insomniac, Sucker Punch, the list goes on. Almost all of the genre-defining games last gen were PS4 exclusives. God of War and The Last of Us come to mind for me. For the Series X to compete and succeed, Microsoft needs to create first-party games that generate the same excitement in order to compete, which there are none. Unless Microsoft's acquisition of Bethesda leads to first-party games, the writing's on the wall for Xbox. It will be hard to keep the Xbox name as a dedicated platform instead of transforming into the massive success of Netflix-like subscription services of Game Pass. That's all I have to say, but before I go, this may be the last Real Deal episode for some of our great members. At least, it's the last episode here in the UML. So first, over the past 4 years, I have been eternally grateful for working with our current co-host, Nate Richard. As partners in Gateway, working in classes together, and reporting on the Heartland Film Festival red carpet, every moment working alongside you, Nate, has only confirmed what a wholesome and talented person you are. Always first to care about other people, and always the first I want to say hi to each taping. And also, not on the script, you're literally the best, but also I just can't stop thinking about how 4 years ago today, we were in the Real Deal auditioning to be segment producers, and then now here we are, both having been hosts. And I just want to say that I'm very proud of you, Nate, and I just can't wait to see what else you have to do. And honestly, I can't say anything else other than I'm going to be extremely jealous of you when you're inevitably the next Roger Ebert. Next year, you'll be giving reviews on NPR, then you'll move on to Hollywood, and who knows what else. Just make sure that you remember all the great times we had and how much we all love you. And then there's Caitlyn. Never in front of the camera, but always a welcome presence behind the scenes. Don't you remember when we first met our semester and we both signed up for literally the exact same clubs and classes? Oh, God. I love you. And all the amazing writer sessions that we've had over the past couple of years. Not to mention all the unforgettable memories that we've had hanging out outside of classes, like the ground being juicy and tons of other really weird inside jokes. I'd say what a talented and driven person you are, but I know we'll keep in touch, so I don't want to overinflate your ego. Just know that you're wonderful, and I'm grateful to call you my friend. And to anybody else that's graduating and that I'm going to inevitably forget about in this segment, you're all amazing, and each of you has shaped my time at The Real Deal. But I've taken enough time as is, so I've got to cut it. See you later. I'm Parker Carlson.
Thanks, Parker.
Wow, I guess this really is goodbye, huh? I can't even hug you because, social distancing.
Don't remind me, Nate. It's too painful. Are you sure you can't just, stay one more semester?
Well, I have always been interested in children's education. I even thought about going through the teacher's college here.
Well, now's your chance. That way you can combine TCOM and child education. Maybe start a show. We call it Richard's...
Community?
No.
Mr. Richard's neck of the woods?
What about Mr. Richard's municipality?
There's something on the tip of my tongue.
I mean, I guess we'll get there eventually. I mean, you are starting a whole new chapter in your life, man, and I'm really proud of you.
Now, before I start crying, let's move on to our final word. As you probably know by now, this is indeed my last episode of The Real Deal. Back in April, when I made the decision that I was going to graduate early in December, I'm not exaggerating when I say it was one of the hardest decisions I have ever made, and that's for one big reason. I didn't want to say goodbye to The Real Deal, and I knew that out of all of the goodbyes, this one was going to be the hardest. So buckle up, because this is going to be a long one, and I want to make every word count. Forgive my tears. Before coming to college, I had always felt like a misfit, and that I never really had a place in the world. I participated in extracurriculars such as cross-country and theater, and while I met some fantastic people that I still consider friends and mentors, I still never really felt like I fit in. I was just a background character. Everything changed when I joined The Real Deal, my first semester freshman year. The Real Deal welcomed me with open arms, and it didn't take long to realize that I had found my people, and I had found a place where I could really be myself. The first person that I really opened up to was Logan Lewis, who is truly one of the most wonderful individuals I have ever met. As time went on, I opened up to more and more people, so I just wanted to thank some of the alumni who helped guide me along the way. Thank you, Brandon, Kyle, Angelo, Anthony, Matt, Tyler, Celia, Eli, Abby, Ross, Noah, Michael, Kenzie, Rob, and Rob. I truly wouldn't be in the position I am today without any of you. Next, I want to thank several of the current members of The Real Deal, who I know will continue to do excellent work next semester. First up is Jamie Howell. Not only is she one of my dog Hazel's biggest fans, but she's one of the most supportive, reliable, and genuine people I've ever met at Ball State. The next person I want to thank is the lovely Tiara Spouse. Tiara is someone that I'm so happy to call a friend. I also wanted to bring up that when my grandfather died my sophomore year, Tiara was one of the ones who really reached out to me. It might have seemed small for her, but it meant a great deal to me, and it's something that I won't ever forget. Next up is Anastasia Scott, who, first of all, I would like to apologize to when I went to see Halloween 2 years ago alone after we had made plans to see it the following weekend. But anyways, Anastasia is somebody who is so full of love and is truly one of the most strong-willed people I have ever met. Next person I want to thank is the great Parker Carlson. Parker is truly one of the hardest workers I've met at Ball State. As soon as I learned that he was going to be the co-EP of Real Deal for this season, I immediately knew the show was in great hands. We both joined The Real Deal at the same time, and it's been amazing to see you grow these past 3 years into the person you are now. And lastly, I want to thank my amazing co-host for this semester, Marcos Carranza. Marcos is quite simply the best. Not only is he someone who will always have your back, but he's also extremely caring, and he is never judgmental, which is a trait that I really want to have. If there were more people in the world like Marcos, I can safely say we would all be in a much better place. I also really want to thank Caitlyn, Andre, Elaine, and Drew, who are all truly one-of-a-kind people. And to our newbies, Ryder and Katy, I wish only the best, and I can't wait to see what you guys continue to bring to The Real Deal. Being part of The Real Deal has truly been a blessing, and they have made these past 3.5 years the best I've had in my life. Like I said before, I wouldn't be the person I am today if I hadn't joined The Real Deal. It's been an honor to be a part of the show, and I can't wait to continue to watch The Real Deal as a fan come January. I love you all. Thank you. I'm Nate Richard, and this has been my final word.
You almost got me, Nate. You almost got me.
My voice was choking.
Like I said earlier, I can only promise so much when it comes to not crying. When I first transferred to Ball State about 2 years ago, I was really unsure about my place in the world, what the hell I was doing with my course of study, and if any of this was even worth it. I was lonely and shy, but I knew that I had to get involved, and I'm really glad that I found myself being dragged to The Real Deal by my friend. At the time, I didn't know anyone, and I was still really unsure of myself. Insert Nathan Richard, one of the first people to get me out of my comfort zone and joke around with. I will never forget the day when I walked in and Nate did his signature wave at me and made me feel seen. And little did I know that little wave would be something to brighten my day on a regular basis. Nate is one of the most genuine people you will have ever met. He is kind, funny as all hell, and secretly really competitive. You should see this guy at Star Wars trivia. It's wild. Over the last few years that I have been here at Ball State, Nate has been a light in my life that I never knew I needed. We have a lot in common, from our love of Star Wars and South Park to our desire to see our friends succeed and our infatuation with dog pictures, especially ones of Hazel. My time with you as co-host has been short, and on this show has just been nothing short of amazing every single time. You are professional and so fun, and I'm truly grateful to have been able to share this experience with you, Nate. Early in the semester, when Nate told me that he was graduating early, I was heartbroken, but also so proud. The world needs more people like Nate, blunt yet genuine, kind yet hilarious. The humble confidence that Nate carries is infectious, and it is part of the reason that I've enjoyed just passing him in the hall every other day this past semester. Nate, you will always be my Captain America and my insect boy, but you will also always be my friend whom I cherish a great deal. Thanks for all the laughs, the Yats conversations, Spielberg rants, and for being an amazing leader, co-host, and friend to me. I think I speak for all of us here at the Real Deal family when I say that it has truly been an honor and a privilege to work beside you. And we can't wait to see what amazing things you do in the future. We love you, Natey boy. This has been my final word.
Well, if you want more from us here at The Real Deal, you can check out our Facebook, Twitter, and website for all things entertainment. I'm your host, Nate Richard.
And I'm Marcos Carranza. See you next time on The Real Deal. I love you, Nate.
Love you too. Oh my God,
Oh,
you
they're
got
still
me.
rolling.